In the seemingly boundless white planar world, figures continuously emerged one after another. The number of people steadily grew from hundreds to thousands, and within half an hour, the number of arrivals had already reached tens of thousands. Where is this place? It doesn't seem like the Great Thousand Worlds. Are we still in the Heavenly Spirit Dimension? The Heavenly Spirit Dimension truly deserves its place as one of the top 10 super lower dimensions. It even has such a strange land like this. Is the final result exhibition going to take place here? It seems like the use of spiritual energy is restricted here. What's going on? As more and more alchemists arrived, the strange nature of this place sparked increasingly more discussions and astonishment among the crowd. Xiao stood on one side of the white plane. He watched as more and more people arrived, and although his expression remained as calm as ever, his heart was filled with anticipation. The people who appeared here were all high-level alchemists, and the highest achievement they would showcase here would be the pinnacle of their work over the past 2 years. Unlike any alchemy gathering Xiao had participated in before, the 10,000 Pills gathering had no audience. However, it surpassed all those with countless spectators because once someone stood out here, the ones cheering and marveling at the final victor were none other than high-level alchemists from the Great Thousand Worlds. As Xiao looked at the other participants who were arriving one after another, his brow furrowed slightly. He then shifted his gaze to a spot not far away where 8 figures slowly appeared. These were the 8 members of Yao Xin's group. Senior Xiao, we've finally found you. The 8 members of Yao Xin's group, having flown from afar, landed beside Xiao. Their eyes, filled with long-awaited looks, fixed on him. No matter what, Xiao was always the target they had been following. After 2 years of separation, Xiao, with his keen perception, could still sense subtle changes in Yao Xin's group. This was clearly due to their experiences and insights over the past 2 years in the Heavenly Spirit Dimension. Their perspectives had definitely expanded to a much wider scope. This was precisely the reason Xiao had invited them to participate in the 10,000 Pills gathering. No matter how they performed next, it would have been worth it for them to come here. It seems like you've all gained quite a bit. Xiao looked at Yao Xin's group and smiled lightly. Upon hearing this, the group also smiled in return. Just as Xiao had said, over the past 2 years, they themselves felt they had made significant progress. At least in terms of cultivation, each of them had gained at least one level of advancement. Yao Anren, in particular, had truly entered the supreme stage, which in the Do domain, equated to the birth of a new Do D. Following Xiao request, Yao Xin's group revealed the best pills they had refined over the past 2 years. Among the 8, aside from Bei Mingming and Yin Dan who had refined pills at the 9th grade mysterious pill level, the other 6 had successfully crafted Emperor grade pills, which were mysterious pills in the Great Thousand Worlds. From these results, Xiao could tell that the person with the lowest talent was likely Yin Dan. As for Bei Mingming, her age was the youngest among them. In some sense, although she had only refined a 9th grade mysterious pill, 2 years ago she could only craft 9th grade golden pills. Her potential was still one of the top 3 among the 8. Apart from Bei Mingming, the best talent was likely Yao Xin and Yi Yin. The Emperor grade intermediate pills they held in their hands were the best proof of this. I wonder what kind of high-level pills Senior Xiao has refined. I'm really looking forward to it. Yao Anren looked at Xiao, her large eyes filled with curiosity and expectation, as did the other 7. I've refined pills, not medicine. In response to Yao Anren's question, Xiao did not immediately reveal his results. You'll find out later. Upon hearing this, Yao Xin and the others nodded. They knew that Xiao wasn't here to simply gain insight like they were, but was truly aiming for the pinnacle of the 10,000 Pills gathering. Before the real competition began, Xiao clearly wouldn't easily reveal the results of his 2 years of work. By the way, Senior Xiao, over the past 2 years, I've heard a lot about alchemy masters. However, there are so many terrifyingly talented alchemists that we don't know who the real main competitors for the 10,000 Pills gathering are. Yao Anren asked, So, Senior Xiao, could you give us a hint about who the most competitive alchemists here are? Hearing Yao Anren's words, Xiao nodded. 3 days before the actual start of the 10,000 Pills gathering, He had separated from Yao Xin's group and independently arrived at the peak of the 10,000 pills. At every 10,000 pills gathering, thousands of high-ranking alchemists are attracted. Among these, 8 or 9 out of 10 can only refine mysterious pills, equivalent to emperor-grade pills in the Do domain, Xiao explained. Hearing this, Yao Xin and the others could only shrug helplessly. 2 years ago, such a statement might have shocked them, as emperor-grade pills were the highest level of pills in the Do domain. Here, however, they were considered basic. But after 2 years of experience, they had gained a deeper understanding and accepted this reality, no longer as stunned as before. To reach the upper levels of the 10,000 pills gathering, one must at least be able to refine divine pills. There are no fewer than 1,000 alchemists among the tens of thousands here who possess this ability, Xiao Yan continued. But being able to refine divine pills only allows one to reach the upper levels. To truly compete, one must have the ability to refine heavenly pills. Only those with this capability have real competitive power here, and the 10,000 pills gathering becomes their stage to compete. There are fewer than 100 alchemists at the gathering who can refine heavenly pills. So, does that mean Xiao Yan's opponents are among these 100 people? Could any of them win? Yao Xin asked. I only said that the gathering is their stage, and they are competitive, but as for who will dominate, currently, only 6 people stand out in terms of refining skills, Xiao Yan explained. Who are these 6? Yao Xin and the others asked eagerly. Xiao Yan then pointed to a direction on the flat plaza. Following his gesture, they saw an elderly figure in a blue robe. The figure was an old man with white, flowing hair, exuding an aura of elegance and wisdom. That is the Grand Elder Tiandan, saint of one of the 4 sects of the 10,000 pill continent. This is not his first time participating in the gathering. In the last gathering, he refined a great heavenly pill. Though he didn't win, 30 years have passed, and he may have made progress, Xiao Yan explained. The Great Heavenly Pill is a higher level within the Heavenly Pill category, which has 3 tiers: Heavenly Pill, Great Heavenly Pill, and Perfected Heavenly Pill. If a heavenly pill is sought after by Earth's supreme level experts, a perfected heavenly pill is enough to move even those at the peak of Earth Supreme. A great heavenly pill? That's truly impressive. Just releasing its energy could probably suffocate a Do D. No, it might even be enough to overwhelm a supreme level expert. Yao Xin and the others marveled as they looked at Tiandan Saint. According to Xiao Yan, the old man's alchemy skills were terrifyingly advanced. Moreover, as the Grand Elder of one of the 4 sects, his status was incredibly high. The 4 sects' influence in the 10,000 pill continent was second only to that of the Pill God clan. Xiao Yan then pointed to another figure nearby. A woman in red, surrounded by a dark red pill that seemed to float like a delicate spirit. She is from the Fire Spirit clan. I'm not too familiar with her position within the clan, but the pill floating beside her is at least at the Great Heavenly Pill level. And there's something strange about it. If my analysis is correct, there seems to be a mutated pill spirit within it, Xiao Yan remarked, gazing at the woman in red. A mutated pill spirit? Can pill spirits even mutate? Yao Xin and the others asked in confusion. Yes, that appears to be a pill capable of continuous evolution. Before entering the heavenly spirit dimension, I tried to analyze it. Back then, she was already carrying that pill. As for the exact nature of the pill spirit inside, I'm not certain, Xiao Yan explained. A pill that evolves continuously. With a pill spirit? Yao Xin and the others were stunned. As fellow alchemists, they knew better than anyone what it meant for a pill spirit to evolve. It meant that even if the pill started as a low-level one that wouldn't even be noticed by a fusion heaven realm expert, it could eventually evolve into a spirit pill, mysterious pill, divine pill, or even a heavenly pill. The potential was limitless, and in the world of pills, it could hold a status comparable to the position of the Flame Emperor in the Fire Flame realm. What about the other strongest competitors? Yao Xin asked eagerly. Now, he was even more curious about how terrifying the other 4 competitors were. Next, Xiao Yan shared with Yao Xin and the others the 4 participants he considered the most competitive in the 10,000 pills gathering. Without exception, these individuals were all extraordinary figures who defied the typical understanding of alchemists. At the same time, through his description of these people, Xiao Yin conveyed an important lesson to Yao Xian and the others. Although the art of alchemy has many branches, with numerous ways to refine a single pill, any alchemist who aspires to reach the pinnacle of the great thousand worlds must find their own path and continuously research along that path. This, he believed, was the only way to reach the peak. The 6 I mentioned earlier were simply the ones I found to be the most competitive before the 10,000 pills gathering began. But as always, the gathering is full of hidden talents. Who can say what surprise contenders might emerge and defy everyone's expectations? Xiao Yin said. He knew well that truly powerful alchemists were far more than just the 6 he had identified. Hey, you're here too? Just as Xiao Yin finished speaking, a voice filled with surprise rang out from nearby. Xiao Yin turned to see 2 familiar figures walking through the crowd towards him. It was Lu Xian and Dan Xun'er. Although Xiao Yin knew they were also attending the 10,000 pills gathering, they hadn't expected him to be there, which was why they were so surprised upon seeing him. But considering Xiao Yin was a high-level alchemist capable of refining divine pills, their surprise quickly faded. As Lu Xian and Dan Xun'er approached, the 8 people beside Xiao Yin, including Yao Xian, watched them curiously. In Xiao Yan's earlier description, Lu Xian had been mentioned as one of the 6 most competitive participants. They hadn't expected her to know Xiao Yin, but after thinking about it, they realized that Xiao Yin had come to the Great Thousand Worlds 10 years ago, so it was normal for him to know some prominent figures from the world. It seems we're quite fated, huh? Lu Xian smiled as she stepped up to Xiao Yin. Have you thought about what I asked you last time? Hearing this, Xiao Yin smiled slightly. What Lu Xian referred to was clearly the matter of forming the Lower Dimension Alliance. We'll talk about the alliance later. After the 10,000 pills gathering ends, I still have some things to take care of first. There's no rush, but do remember, I've reserved a vice leader position for you, Lu Xian replied with a grin. Haha, looks like I'm quite a significant ally, Xiao Yin chuckled in response. Since that's settled, we'll discuss everything after the 10,000 pills gathering and once you've handled your matters, Lu Xian said with a smile. But before that, as the leader of the alliance, let me show you the results of my work over the past 2 years. Xiao Yin smiled. Haha, I look forward to it. After that, Lu Xian and Dan Xun'er did not leave. Instead, they stayed with Xiao Yin and the others, waiting for the final battle of the 10,000 pills gathering to begin. By now, tens of thousands of participants had gathered here. The originally quiet world began to buzz with activity as the last figure from the heavenly spirit dimension arrived. Buzz. Once all the participants had arrived, everyone's gaze shifted to the center of the world. Under the attention of the crowd, familiar figures began to appear. At the forefront were Dan Yu and Gao Yuan, the organizers of the 10,000 pills gathering. With their appearance, the previously noisy atmosphere gradually quieted down, as everyone knew that the most exciting moment of the gathering was about to begin. First, I must congratulate everyone, Dan Yu said, smiling as he looked over the crowd. After 2 years of hard work, you've finally refined the pill you most desired. The participants had spent 2 years in the heavenly spirit dimension, facing countless challenges to gather the required materials and refine their most ideal pills. For alchemists, this was an incredible test. I believe, and I hope, that each of you will surpass your previous alchemical skills and refine even more perfect and advanced pills. But during this 10,000 pills gathering, don't focus solely on victory and defeat. The progress you've made over the past 2 years is the most important thing. So, I'll reiterate once more, all alchemists participating in the gathering may take one of the pills they've refined. But in the end, the strongest must compete with the strongest. Dan Yu immediately followed with a statement, and upon hearing it, everyone understood its meaning. In the upcoming competition, most participants would surely be eliminated. Dan Yu's words were an essential means to calm the crowd. However, this was the nature of the competition and the hard rule of the Great Thousand Worlds. The strong are revered, whether in cultivation or in alchemy. Dan Yu was right. The position at the top had to be claimed by someone. As everyone grasped Dan Yu's intention, he stopped talking further. A clear voice echoed through the space of the flat world, reaching everyone's ears. Now, I announce that the final competition of the 10,000 pills gathering begins. As Dan Yu's voice spread, everyone present saw Gao Yuan, standing beside him, move. In an instant, he appeared above them all. From a height of several hundred meters, Gao Yuan looked down at the tens of thousands of participants who had been transported here. He waved his hand, and a glowing orb about the size of a head appeared. Inside the orb, the participants could vaguely make out the shape of a fetus, its breathing seemingly in sync with the movements of the world itself. That was the dimension embryo. Everyone, please showcase your highest achievements from these past 2 years. Gao Yuan's resonant voice rang out. Upon hearing this, the tens of thousands of participants exchanged looks, then nodded in unison. Each person extended a hand, presenting a pill in their palm, with dense waves of spiritual energy radiating from it. In an instant, the entire flat world was filled with the fragrance of various pills. However, due to the lack of the same natural environment here as the outside world, no changes in the heavens and earth occurred, no matter what kind of pill was displayed. Show your pills, Gao Yuan instructed as the others around him revealed their pills. Xiao Yin turned to Yao Xian and the others, including Lu Xian and Dan Xun'er, and said, his hand also extending. When he opened his palm, a black orb appeared in front of everyone. Is this a pill? Seeing the black orb in Xiao Yan's hand, not only Yao Xian and his companions, but also Lu Xian and Dan Xun'er were stunned. They had never seen such a pill before. First, the black orb emitted no pill fragrance. Secondly, it didn't even show the usual spiritual energy fluctuations. This made them doubt whether the black orb was truly a pill at all. As Yao Xian and the others were puzzled by the black orb, Dan Yu and Gao Yuan, hovering in the air, exchanged a glance and slightly narrowed their eyes. Soon, all the participants in the flat world presented their best pills, but at this moment, more people were curious about another question. Everyone knew that Gao Yuan asked them to display their pills for comparison, but how would they compare them? No one could guess. Without the natural environment of the outside world, they couldn't rely on the changes in the heavens and earth to judge the grade of the pills. What was left were the lingering pill fragrances. Would they compare those? That was clearly impossible. Everyone, the reason the final competition of the 10,000 pills gathering isn't held in the outside world isn't because we don't want others to watch, but because in such a heavenly environment, the level of a pill is judged based on the disturbances it causes in the heavens and earth. However, this method is too crude. Strictly speaking, it is imprecise and disrespects the participants here. Gao Yuan's voice rang out from midair. As he looked at the thousands of participants below, the dimension embryo in his hand beginning to radiate a soft light. Since we cannot accurately judge the pills using the environment outside, we need a more precise method of classification, Gao Yuan continued, and the soft light from the dimension embryo in his hand expanded, forming a massive dome of light about 1,000 meters in size. Buzz. The enormous dome of light, about 1,000 meters in diameter, enveloped all the participants, forming a hemispherical shield. Inside this shield, everyone felt as though everything about them was being observed. Then, Gao Yuan's voice rang out in their ears. The detection of the dimension embryo is divided into 5 levels. If the pill emits a yellow light, it means that the pill does not even reach the mysterious pill level. Above the yellow light is red, representing the true mysterious pill level. Beyond that is a blue light, corresponding to the divine pill. The next level is a purple gold color, representing the heavenly pill level, but the highest level is dark gold, indicating a super heavenly pill that even the dimension embryo cannot detect. According to past traditions, the final competition will only take place among pills that reach the dark gold level. The final judgment will be carried out by me in collaboration with clan leader Dan Yu. As for participants below this level, they will be eliminated one by one. As compensation, all eliminated participants may take their pills with them. Within the vast dimension shield, Gao Yuan's voice echoed in everyone's ears. Upon hearing him, all the participants immediately made their preparations. No matter the outcome, they were eager to see how they would perform in this 10,000 pills gathering. However, most of them were indifferent about their results. They knew that their pills were only at the mysterious pill or divine pill level, and with such pills, competing here was out of the question. Fortunately, They could take the pills they had spent 1 or 2 years crafting, and the materials were free of charge. After hearing Gao Yuan's words, Xiao Yin also smiled. After 2 years of waiting, the final contest of the 10,000 pills gathering was finally about to begin. He hoped the upcoming competition would not disappoint him. "Hey, Xiao Yin, don't get eliminated too quickly," Lu Xian said with a smile, looking at Xiao Yin. She had come to claim the top spot in the 10,000 pills gathering, so after hearing Gao Yuan's rules, she had already set her sights on the 5th level and beyond. "Same to you," Xiao Yin responded with a smile. "Senior Xiao Yin, we'll probably be eliminated right away. You have to do your best later," Yao Anren said, clenching her fists and speaking to Xiao Yin. "The competition hasn't even started, and you're already giving up? Get a hold of yourselves. The result doesn't matter, but confidence is a must," Xiao Yin said, patting Yao Anren's head. Just then, Gao Yuan's voice continued from above the dimension shield. "I've explained the rules to everyone, so let's get straight to the point and begin." As Gao Yuan finished speaking, everyone below saw the dimension embryo in his hand begin to emit a light mist, which entered the dimension shield and rapidly spread inside. Within a few breaths, the mist had enveloped everyone inside the shield. The participants within the dimension shield gazed at the swirling mist around them. Some of those who had previously participated in the 10,000 pills gathering remained calm, having experienced this scene before. However, for those who were attending the gathering for the first time, the mist was a source of great curiosity. They wondered what effect the mist would have. Soon enough, the purpose of the mist became clear. All the participants saw strange reactions from the pills in their hands. First, there was a faint humming vibration. Then, the vibrations transformed into light and spread out, enveloping all the pills inside the dimension shield with a yellow light. Seeing the light surrounding the pills like a glowing orb, everyone understood. Based on Gao Yuan's earlier explanation and the current situation, the first round of elimination had officially begun. In one corner of the dimension shield, Xiao Yin and Yao Xian, along with the others, looked at the pills in their hands. Like everyone else, their pills were glowing with yellow light. Lu Xian and Dan Ling Er had the same result. However, Xiao Yin understood that this was just the beginning. The true mass elimination would soon come, like a storm. The first round of elimination begins now. During the upcoming detection, if the light of the pill does not turn red, it will be directly eliminated. Gao Yuan's voice echoed from above, looking down at the tens of thousands of yellow lights below. As his words fell, the dimension embryo in his hand began to emit a series of low humming sounds. Buzz. As the dimension embryo in Gao Yuan's hand hummed, the tens of thousands of yellow lights in the dimension shield seemed to respond, and all of them began to change. However, as much as hope exists, the reality never unfolds as most would wish. The next scene revealed a vast extinguishing of yellow light, nearly a third of it disappearing, representing the fact that nearly 1/3 of the pills crafted by the participants had failed to reach the level of mysterious pills. Within the dimension shield, the pills held by Xiao Yin, Yao Xian, and the others still emitted that yellow light. Lu Xian and Dan Ling Er's pills did as well, but among them, there were still 2 who had been eliminated, Bei Mingming and Yin Dan. Xiao Yin wasn't surprised by this result, and as for these 2, it had probably been expected long before, so they merely smiled faintly. "Senior Xiao Yin, Brother Yao Xian, keep going." After their failure, Bei Mingming, instead of feeling down, cheered on Yao Xian and the others. After her words, her figure vanished mysteriously. Around 10,000 participants were eliminated in the first round, and once it was determined their pills didn't meet the mysterious pill standard, they were directly transferred outside the dimension shield by Gao Yuan using the power of the dimension embryo. There, they could still observe the ongoing eliminations within the shield. After Bei Mingming and Yin Dan were eliminated, the remaining participants, including Xiao Yin and his group, saw the light of the pills in their hands begin to change. Those who survived the first round saw their yellow light evolve into red. Yet, most survivors looked somewhat grim at this change, and Yao Xian and the others shared this same expression. They knew they had survived the first round due to luck, but as they faced the second round of eliminations, they realized that, compared to those eliminated in the first round, they were merely taking a few extra steps. At least most of them had already mentally estimated how far they might go in the eliminations. However, After recalling Xiao Yan's earlier words, Yao Xin and his group eased their minds. Since the outcome was inevitable, they couldn't lose confidence. Next, under Gao Yuan's manipulation, the second round of eliminations began. Compared to the first round, this one was even more brutal. With over 30,000 participants in the 10,000 pills gathering, more than 10,000 had already been eliminated in the first round. In the second round, which involved over 20,000 people, around 20,000 were immediately eliminated. Before the third round of elimination started, there were less than 2,000 people left within the dimension shield. Their pills emitted blue light, signifying 2,000 divine pills. Among these survivors were Xiao Yin, Xun'er, and Lu Xin, while Yao Xin and his group, as expected, were directly eliminated. At this point, they stood outside the dimension shield with the nearly 30,000 eliminated participants, nervously watching Xiao Yin, who remained within. "Go, Senior Xiao Yin." Yao Xin and the others prayed for him within the shield. In the third round, if a participant's pill didn't reach the heavenly pill level, they would most likely be eliminated directly. Among the remaining 2,000, fewer than 300 likely possessed the ability to craft heavenly pills. However, the result was even more exaggerated than Yao Xin and his group had anticipated. As tens of thousands of eyes outside the shield focused with expectation, the third round of eliminations began. Within the shield, Xiao Yin looked at the black orb in his hand, his face calm. Although he had stumbled upon some analysis during the previous eliminations, he now understood the principles behind the pill testing. He knew the true nature of this world, and because the heavenly spirit dimension existed in such a way, it was only natural that Gao Yuan and Dan Yu could use it to test other pills. As long as the pills didn't exceed the level of the heavenly spirit dimension itself, what couldn't be tested? And the accuracy of this test was incomparable to any external worldly changes. "Let me see if the heavenly spirit dimension can truly detect my pill," Xiao Yin murmured to himself. At this moment, the third round of eliminations truly began. Within the vast dimension shield, around 2,000 blue lights shimmered. In the next instant, those lights began to extinguish, and those whose lights went out were directly transferred out. In just a few moments, more than 1,000 people had been eliminated. At this point, Yao Xin and the others outside the dimension shield were on edge. The number of eliminated individuals continued to rise, while the survivors dwindled, until the remaining figures inside the protective shield dropped below 300. At that moment, Yao Xin and his companions finally breathed a sigh of relief, expecting that the final number of survivors would be around this count. Fortunately, at that moment, Xiao Yin was still standing within the protective shield. However, the next scene caused Yao Xin and the others to hold their breath again. They witnessed the number of people inside the shield continuing to decrease rapidly, an unexpected frenzy that stunned most of the eliminated participants. How many more people need to be eliminated? Eventually, the number of survivors inside the protective shield finally stopped decreasing, with fewer than 150 people remaining. This indicated that the pills they possessed were at least at the heavenly pill level. Once it was confirmed that only 150 remained, the anxious Yao Xin and his companions finally relaxed, relieved that Xiao Yin was still safely within the dimension's protective shield. Xiao Yin had survived the third round of eliminations, and to Yao Xin and the others outside the protective shield, it was surprising to see that besides Xiao Yin, Xun'er and Lu Xin had also made it through. Lu Xin was one of the 6 individuals Xiao Yin had high hopes for, so her survival was expected. However, they hadn't anticipated that Xun'er also possessed the ability to refine heavenly pills. It seems that the alchemist Xiao Yin knows in the Great Thousand Worlds have all reached the heavenly alchemist level. "I didn't expect you to be a heavenly alchemist too," Xun'er remarked, slightly taken aback by Xiao Yin's passage through the third elimination round. "It appears you have talents not only in cultivation but also in alchemy," Lu Xin said to Xiao Yin. "There are still 2 more eliminations to go, so make sure you don't fall behind." Xiao Yin simply smiled lightly in response, as he had earlier, and replied, "Likewise. It seems we share the same goal. Let's see who will make it to the end," Lu Xin said confidently, now realizing that Xiao Yin's true objective was to challenge the peak of the 10,000 pills gathering, just like hers. According to the detection from the dimension embryo, everyone left here can be considered a true heavenly alchemist, Gao Yuan said, casting a satisfied look at the remaining approximately 150 individuals below. In previous gatherings of the 10,000 pills, typically around 100 heavenly alchemists would remain after the third elimination, with the highest recorded number close to 200 and the lowest fewer than 60. Therefore, averaging this year's count, having nearly 150 heavenly alchemists remaining was quite a considerable outcome. However, as before, while the number of survivors is high, there can only be one final throne. Therefore, you will face 2 more major eliminations, and after that, those remaining will be the champions of this 10,000 pills gathering. If you are ready, let the 4th round of elimination begin now. Gao Yuan's clear voice echoed through the plain world. During the first 3 eliminations, he had not formally announced their start, but had quickly wrapped them up in a procedural manner. Now, it was evident that both Gao Yuan and Dan Yu took the upcoming 4th elimination very seriously, as those remaining were all genuine heavenly alchemists. Under everyone's watchful gaze, the 4th round of eliminations finally began. The 150 individuals inside the protective shield saw their original blue light simultaneously upgrade to a light of purple gold. Viewed from the outside, the entire dimensional shield now radiated a brilliant purple gold hue. The purple gold light represented 150 heavenly pills, and such high-tier pills required merely a small amount of energy to summon a complete advanced pill spirit. Even so, the brutal elimination process had commenced. At that moment, outside the shield, Yao Xin and the others held their breath, silently cheering for Xiao. They believed he would again reveal miracles to everyone. Under their watch, the purple gold light on some individuals within the protective shield began to extinguish. Swish, swish, swish. However, the scene unfolding inside the shield was somewhat beyond the expectations of the spectators. They had thought Gao Yuan and Dan Yu would drag out the suspense and slowly eliminate those who would be disqualified. It was almost like the blink of an eye. Out of the 150 people originally inside the protective barrier, over 100 had their purple golden glow extinguished. Such a drastic reduction left people stunned. But after a moment of reflection, many realized the truth. The scan of the dimension embryo must have already begun before Gao Yuan announced the start. What they were witnessing now was simply the result of that scan. As everyone snapped back to their senses, they hurriedly turned their gaze to the remaining individuals within the barrier, eager to see which alchemists would be spared in the next round. At the same time, Xiao inside the barrier was staring at the black pill in his hand. The purple golden light still radiated from it, which meant that he had not been eliminated in the recent purge. This outcome was exactly what Xiao had expected, and he was well aware that the pill in his hand was the least likely to be eliminated from the heavenly spirit dimension. However, the person standing beside Xiao wasn't so fortunate. This person was Xun'er, who had been among the 100 eliminated. But she seemed utterly unconcerned about this outcome and simply waved her hand dismissively. Since I've already completed the punishment my father gave me, there's no need for me to stay any longer, Xun'er said nonchalantly, then disappeared in an instant. In front of Xiao, another survivor stood out, Lu Xin, who, like Xiao, had not been eliminated. She was the only one who truly understood the meaning of the punishment Xun'er mentioned, a secret known only to her. The 100 eliminated participants were transported out, and the remaining 50 continued through the 4th round of eliminations. Senior Xiao is still in. Yao Xin and the others were visibly excited by Xiao continued presence. The 4th round of eliminations continued. Following the previous 100 eliminations, within the span of several dozen breaths, over 30 more participants were eliminated. At this point, only 15 people remained, but Xiao was still standing among them. I wonder how many will be left after the 5th round of eliminations? I think around 10 will remain. But the heavenly pill level is incredibly unpredictable. It's really hard to separate the strong from the weak. Let's see how the Pill God clan and the ancient myriad grass plains handle this. As the 4th round of eliminations neared its end, the participants outside the barrier were discussing the remaining contestants. The fewer people there were, the slower the eliminations became. It took almost a minute just to eliminate one person from the remaining 15. At this point, it was clear that the remaining pills were all extraordinary. They were likely of the great heavenly pill grade or higher, and yet even these powerful pills could still be ruthlessly eliminated. A few minutes later, with only 11 figures remaining inside the barrier, the crowd outside began to speculate on the identities of these survivors. After all, these people were only one step away from the final throne. Their abilities and names were sure to be remembered by all. What excited Yao Xin and the others the most was that Xiao Yin was one of the remaining 11. But just as they celebrated, another purple-golden light was extinguished from within the barrier. It belonged to a woman in a green dress. Another one has been eliminated. It's by Xianzi from the 100 Herbs sect. She's been the most talented young disciple of the 100 Herbs sect in decades. 5 years ago, she reached the Earth's supreme level in spiritual energy cultivation, and 10 years ago, she successfully refined a heavenly pill. 10 years ago, she could refine a heavenly pill, and now she can refine a great heavenly pill. Her talent is truly monstrous. Such a pity. As Bai Xinzi was eliminated, discussions about her erupted from the crowd outside. Inside the barrier, Bai Xinzi sighed upon seeing the purple-golden glow on her pill disappear. However, as one of the 4 sects of the 10,000 pill continent, her achievement of reaching this stage already proved her excellence. With Bai Xinzi's elimination, only 10 people remained in the barrier. The crowd outside now believed that the 4th round of eliminations had come to an end. Not bad, Lu Xian said, holding a transparent pill in her hand as she looked at Xiao Yin. The 4th round of eliminations should be over now. I admit, you've impressed me. But Xiao Yan's response left Lu Xian slightly stunned. Heh, the 4th round of eliminations isn't over yet. Xiao Yan's casual smile made Lu Xian pause for a moment. No way? However, just as Lu Xian's words fell, amidst the 10 beams of purple-golden light within the dimension's protective shield, another one was suddenly extinguished. It happened so quickly that it caught everyone outside the arena off guard. The one eliminated was an elderly man, and from the murmurs of the onlookers, it was revealed that he was the Grand Elder of the Pill King clan. The Pill King clan was one of the 3 major clans on the 10,000 Pill continent, second only to the Pill God clan. First, it was the 100 Herbs sect, and now the Pill King clan. The ruthless rules of the 10,000 Pills gathering showed no leniency, even towards these top-tier forces. As the Grand Elder of the Pill King clan was swept out of the competition, Gao Yuan above flicked his hand, and the dimension embryo was immediately retracted. As the dimension embryo vanished, the enormous protective shield, 1,000 feet in size, also disappeared, leaving behind only a vast plaza and the 9 remaining contestants standing upon it. Under the gazes of many, Gao Yuan's figure slowly descended from mid-air, and not far away, Dan Yu also approached the 9 survivors from the 4th round of eliminations. At the same time, the titles of these individuals, which had stunned and excited all participants, echoed through this flat world. The top alchemist of the Fire Spirit clan, Fire Tianyang. The lord of the Xin Tian continent, Mystic King Lu Yu. The domain master of the Southern Pill domain, Blood Pill King. The young clan leader of the Xuanfu clan, Xiao Wufeng. The ruler of the Western Cloud Dimension, Lu Xian. The Grand Elder of the Divine Medicine sect, Fan King. The sect leader of the 10,000 Valleys sect, Etern. Al Medicine Sovereign. The master of the Do domain, Flame Emperor Xiao Yin. The elder of the Ming clan, Ming Zhihua. First, congratulations to the 9 of you for surviving the previous 4 rounds of eliminations.